Welcome to our first episode of The Reflective Leader. This television program was developed for the thoughtful practitioner. In an era that emphasizes quick, one-size-fits-all solutions to significant organizational problems, leaders often find themselves regularly visiting the same issues as meaningful, lasting change seems evasive. The Reflective Leader will introduce a series of conversations that attempt to provide an interdisciplinary reflective analysis of the phenomena of leadership and organizational change that's grounded in the presupposition that thoughtful leadership is better leadership and is most conducive to positive organizational transformation. Well, I'd like to introduce to you myself as well as the other host of this program. Doug Walters, why don't you tell us about yourself, about your career, your education, and why you want to do this show.
Okay, well, thank you, Tony. My career, when it began over 4 decades ago, I wasn't really sure where I would be at the end of that period. But the path that I've taken has been one in which I have been placed into a number of leadership opportunities and leadership positions that over the last 40 years that have afforded me a really, really good experience from leadership from the classroom level all the way to the university and consulting levels. And so that career has involved a variety of positions in leadership. One of the leadership positions that most people don't think about is that leadership position of the classroom teacher. And so I was very fortunate to have a great number of years in which I was allowed to lead in my classroom. And it really provided me with an opportunity to understand how leadership manifests itself within the classroom. And sometimes I think in our society we forget about the significance of leadership in regard to the classroom teacher. And so from there I went to some administrative experiences with Kanawha County Schools for a great number of years with a variety of leadership positions. And then I transitioned from there to the university level and had the great fortune of being the Dean of Students at 2 higher education institutions. First being the University of Charleston, which was a really great experience. And then a little bit after I retired for the second time, it was an experience of being the Dean of Student Affairs at a college in Micronesia and the College of the Marshall Islands. And that in itself was a very, very enlightening, tremendous experience. And talk about reflection. That was a place in which I found myself reflecting a lot. And my educational background sort of defies the normal stereotype because my training has been, formal training has been at the undergraduate and graduate level at a number of institutions, and I had the great opportunity to work with some great leaders across the country in that setting. And as we've talked recently, we felt that it was very important for one of the aspects of leadership that sometimes is overlooked, not thought a great deal about. And it's reflected in the literature, but it's not necessarily talked about where I call where the rubber meets the road. And so I believe that we'll be able to afford our listeners an opportunity to talk about and reflect on really sound, solid, reflective leadership. And so therefore we're hoping that we'll be able to, in the months to come, to share that information and opportunity with our listeners.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And you and I started working with television as a medium about 9 years ago, I would say.
Right.
And it's been a while since we did this. And I think that I think not only is this going to be a lot of fun as we do this program once a month, I also think it's going to meet a need in our community and beyond. as we tackle some of the really pressing issues that organizations and leaders are facing right now.
Right.
You know, I've been like you. I've had a lot of jobs, a variety of careers, and also like you, many of them have happened simultaneously. You know, I've had dual careers, usually in education, and mostly higher education, both at the professorial level and also as an administrator, but also working in organizational development consulting for many years. And I realized as I was doing the math, it's been about 17 years now.
Oh, my. So you're beginning to tell your age.
Oh, just a little bit, I think. But in terms of my educational background, most of it has been in the humanities, at least initially, in philosophy and ethics specifically. And then I transitioned from there into organizational leadership and development, specifically change management. And in the past several years, I've been very interested in motivation science. You know, what is it that truly causes people to act or to want to act? And also the relationship of liberal arts to human evolution. And you and I have had several conversations about that over the years, what that looks like. But I really think this show is going to help meet a need in our community, and I'm really excited to do it. So as we talked about, this is going to be a monthly show. And I think that the prevailing question for our program, and I think this will impact all of our programs over the next several months, is this: what is it that differentiates a good leader from one who is truly exceptional? Why do some executives seem to be more adept at leading complex organizations in a volatile market while others struggle to maintain their composure and their position? And we're going to tackle this question, Doug, I think, from a variety of perspectives.
Right.
And I think that we'll do this through the lenses of both research and experience. And I think between the two of us, we've got a lot of experience, but also it'll be nice to bring in some people from the community as well that are dealing with some of these issues to provide a perspective. And you know, we've got a lot of talent within the Kanawha Valley and many local leaders and organizations that we've identified for best practices that can help guide our conversation.
I think that one of the things that will evolve, Tony, over the next several months as we develop and continue with the program is the opportunity that we're going to be able to show that there are a great number of reflective leaders in our community at a variety of levels, not only in education, but in the nonprofit world, in the business world, and I think the other area would also be the governmental world. You know, we're at the hub of West Virginia leadership here in the Kanawha Valley and in Charleston in particular, and I think that we've got a number of individuals that we can show how they have used reflection and how as one of the elements for their success. And so I think we have a great deal to be able to share with the community.
And I think that this approach that we're going to take with the show, looking at the issue of, you know, the reflective leader, I think is I think there are some out there that do it, as you mentioned. I think that they may not realize that they're doing it, and that the issue of reflection is one of the elements that's critical to their success. But I think that there may be others out there as well who aren't utilizing reflection as a guiding practice that could really strengthen their leadership as well as their organizations by doing so.
Right, and I think one of the things that I'd like for the audience to understand is that in practice, reflection, emotional intelligence are all considered, for example, to be soft. And so because they are soft, therefore they don't have value because I can't quantify it, I can't hold it, I can't touch it, can't put it in a bread box. And so, but we both know that that's the one element, the reflection and understanding one's emoting feelings and others' emoting feelings may be the one variable that truly makes the difference between a successful leader and an unsuccessful.